Hello, dear friends. You have asked me to do one video around neurographic tree or Neurotree. We are teaching in depth Neurotree algorithm in our specialist course, level 2. But I just want to give you highlights and some ideas on how you can draw Neurotree. And maybe you would be interested to learn more. In this case, you know where to find me. I have all my information in the description. But for now, I would like to show you very basic concept of classical neurotree. I'm going to also leave a reference here to quantum neurotree, horizontal one. If you noticed, I'm keeping my album vertically here. But I'm also referencing here in this video um, from 3D to 5D quantum neurotree algorithm that you could watch and see the difference. Okay, so in order for us to kind of not to consume too much time, I've divided my album page in half so we could actually finish from A to Z drawing Neurotree. I'm not going to go deep inside of the psychological aspect so you understand, because this is something that is done in specialist course, but here I'm only showing you very basic concept. And for that, I just want to show you the markers that you may be interested in purchasing. They not smell that much. Tropical vacation paper made set that was about like $12 or something, not expensive at all. So you can get it on Amazon if you wish. I'm using mixed media paper. And also, recently I've purchased Amazon Basic Permanent Marker. It smells, I'm telling you right away, they're more like Sharpie kind of quality, but I'm not sensitive to smell, so I'm using that. But if you are sensitive, please do not purchase them because you would not be able to draw with them. All right, so why don't we start? In order for us to draw a neurotree, right, we really need to use neural lines. And if you don't know what neural line is, I do have a basic courses that I'm referencing in this video that you can start watching, and you will get an understanding of what neural line is and what shapes mean and how to actually draw them through those basic classes. But for now, this class is for people who are aware of the shapes and what neurographic lines are. You could try even if you're not aware anyway to draw with me. And mostly I am going to be focusing on the algorithm of drawing Neurotree and some psychological aspects, some not very deep. So you could notice that what I'm doing, I'm forming the actual tree, the classical tree that later on we're going to be using for the ideas that we might have about things that are going on in our lives. And it could be some challenging situations where you need to move or change your job or to get married or get divorced, or maybe your kids are marrying. So it could be anything. And for that, Neurotree is a really good algorithm in order to recognize our resources that we already have in life and also be built towards the future. And then in Neurotree, what we are basically referencing within the tree, a tree part: subconscious mind, conscious mind, and superconscious. Or you could look at the tree as the past, present, and the future. Okay. And also in Neurographica, the left side of your paper emphasizes past and the right side emphasizes the future. So what I'm doing here, I'm adding more lines towards the crown. So the crown looks really powerful and the tree looks strong. But I also need to make sure my roots are really strong and the tree is not really leaning towards right or left. It has to be very stable in order for me to get the results that I want. Okay. So while you're doing this, just breathe, drink some water, think about what you plan on working on right now. And again, we're just gonna select something not very much complex, maybe, as I said, looking for another job or moving to another state, selling the house, things like that. Okay. And once you finish drawing your basic Neurotree, what you need to do, you need to start rounding. You could see what I'm doing here. And what do I mean by rounding? We need to round all the crossings within the lines that actually cross each other here. And in Neurographica, we usually make sure that all the pieces are incorporated. Everything is working very well together. And the only way to make sure that everything works very well together is to round every crossing that you see here in your drawing. One thing you have to keep in mind that for Neurotree algorithm, you don't have to round 100%. It could be just 80% rounding, which is totally fine. But as you round, don't just round for the rounding's sake. Think about your situation. For example, let's take something simple, like selling a house, right? For example, a lot of people selling houses right now in New York. They're moving to other states. So if let's say you're selling your house, so think about it. Think about your house. I'm sure there is a sadness saying goodbye, right, to the place where you live maybe your whole life or maybe a long chunk of your life. Think about people who's going to be buying it and at what price. Just round and think about it. Concentrate on the idea. And in Neurographica, we usually work on one idea at the time. We are concentrating on something that is the most important right now for us at this point. If you're planning on changing your job in 2 years, maybe retire in 5 years or 10 years, I would not suggest using this for drawing the Neurotree. Why? Because, from the time perspective, it's going to be in the future. Who knows? Maybe you're going to change your mind over time or whatever's going to happen. Nowadays, things happening really fast. So work on something very much current, right? Like, for example, like if you've already listed your house, think about on selling it. Okay. And I'm using it just as an example. So you understand it's not about selling or buying or anything in relationship towards that. I just empowered my roots a little bit. I added some lines. You can do that as well if you feel like you need to add more lines. And I've done it right here. So, and you can also add another line right there, like a double lines in order to make your tree more powerful, stronger, and so forth. So think about something that is current for you in the moment that you're struggling with maybe, or maybe you really need to achieve good results by doing certain actions, like selling the house, moving another state, buying another house, or maybe your kids are marrying, maybe you're marrying yourself or divorcing, right? Also life challenging situation. Think about anything that belongs um, to your current situation. Um, and you could see what I'm doing, right? I'm thickening some of the crossings or lines. I'm leaving some of them as they are, right? You can always add another. If I use this marker that I just recently bought, I can thicken some lines that they look thicker. You see that? This way it creates kind of like a 3D effect here. Let's say if I want to make certain lines thicker, I would just kind of like go double here or like making my roots stronger. That's what you can do. Okay, I'm just showing you from here. I need to round because um, the rounding didn't work very well. So you can always add a circle. So I hope you're working with me and you're really thinking about what is most important for you at the moment. Okay. and concentrating on this. Concentrate, meditate, breathe. Always. With Neurographica, it's very important to do that. So now, as we took an example of selling the house, okay? So think about it. What could be your resources? What are your resources that you can use in order to successfully sell the house? And when I'm saying resources, I'm talking about what have you done in the past, because resources can go to the past, to the roots, that might contribute to a good sale of the house, okay? So you could say, I took a good care of my house. It's in a wonderful shape, and I want to represent it as a circle. So if you took a good care of your house, then there is a big possibility you're going to get more money for the house, right? So use it as your resource. Or if you didn't take a good care of your house, maybe you want to add as a resource that you have an intention, right, to remodel, renovate your house so you can get a better value. That could be your resource that you made this decision, you allocated some money towards that. That could be your resource, okay? And usually what we do when we draw, you could just write down good care of the house, okay? For example, here, in your situation, you're gonna be writing whatever you're working on. So what else? Maybe you have a real estate agent as your friend who cares about you and really strives to get you the best offers. People who care about your personal life, people who really want you to do a best deal, not just some strangers on the street. That could be your beautiful resource, right? So why don't we add another circle here as a resource? And you see what I'm doing. Like if my circle doesn't look like circle, I add more and more circles until I get to a better shape. And in Neurographica, we really need to strive to draw shapes very close to their original state, not ovals, not uh, egg shapes. All your circles have to look like circles. Otherwise, your idea is not going to be projected in your mind in the most effective way. And here we're really working with our subconscious mind. Remember I said subconscious, conscious, superconscious, past, present, future. So you really want to program your mind in order to recognize what resources you already have for selling your house, or what resources you have in order to go for a successful divorce or changing your job, right? Your knowledge, your experience could be your resource. Your adaptability level could be another one. What else? Um, let's say as a resource, you already know where you're going to be moving. Let's say maybe you bought a house in a different place already, like maybe if you're moving from New York, you're moving to Southern state, to Georgia, for example. Let's say you already know where you're moving. You already got the house over there or apartment. That could be your good resource. And usually when I'm talking about houses or getting a house, like square is much more appropriate way to add as a shape here. That could be your resource, right? And please remember what we do with corners of the figures, like triangles and squares. We actually round the inner corners of the figures. And we also need to round all the crossings that we create by adding another figure. And it applies to the shapes that cross each other and also applies to the neurographic lines. Okay. What else could you do here? Maybe you found a job in a different state that's going to pay you well. You know, it's a good move and you feel more confident moving because you don't feel that you need to be stressing around what I'm going to do in a different state, what job I'm going to get there. Maybe you already got it. Okay. And all you need to do is just to move and just be there. It could be another circle, right? It could be another circle. And you might ask me, like, where do you add resources? You add them wherever you feel the places where you add them anywhere in the drawing. Just don't forget to round them And just think about that. They better be symmetrical because you don't want resources to go to the right all the way or to the left. We really want stability in this whole algorithm. That's why we're doing tree, right? Because tree is a very stable, if it's a healthy tree, of course, it is a very stable plan. So um, as a resource also maybe that you're very active, you know how to communicate with people, you are willing to add actions. So just draw a triangle. Whenever we need to take good actions, draw a triangle, okay? And again, you need to round the inner corners. And, you know, usually those corners I'd like to attach wherever I can. Here, I'm gonna probably do another line. Nothing should be hanging. Everything should be really attached to something. In Neurographica, the more you incorporate, the more elements you're gonna incorporate, the better your drawing is gonna look. So that's what you need to do here. Okay, and you can add as many resources as you want. Don't forget to write on top of them, right? For you, it's only for you. Uh, if you would want to review your work, you will go back and you will see, right, what you wrote on top of the figure, and that would remind you about what you've been working on. I just gave you an example. I'm not going to write everywhere here. You can also activate those figures by adding neurographic line around them. This way, you're activating your resources. You're making them more powerful, mobile, really working for you in order for you to achieve what you're looking for. Okay. So having these resources, really feeding the tree, feeding the trunk, the energy goes up and you get to the crown. Okay. And now, what do you want to achieve by selling the house? Let's think about it. You want to get a good financial reward for your house, right? And see what I'm doing? This way, the circle is going to go to quantum realm beyond the edge of my paper. Okay. And again, you see what I'm doing? I'm rounding again. Okay. For me, it's important. For example, if I'm selling my house, to sell my house for the good price. Okay. And you can write price. A dollar sign or whatever currency in your country. So you want to sell it for the good price. You also want to make sure that, let's say, if you didn't buy the house to move in or apartment, that you will get one, that you already working towards that. And here you can envision the best place you want to live. If you're moving to southern state, to Georgia, for example, to mountains or Florida by the ocean or by the Gulf, just envision your best place where you want to be there. Maybe it's an apartment, maybe it's in a house. Maybe you don't know yet, but it's like you're only thinking about this place. You have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, maybe backyard, anything, right? Just envision how it's supposed to look like and edit here and just say house. Okay, what else? What else you're going to be achieving by using all the resources that you have here at the roots? You're going to probably get mobility in a way that if you're able to work remotely, you don't have to be in the city for that. Get a remote job and work from anywhere. Work by sitting by the pool or going to the beach, taking your computer there. So work remotely. I'm going to add triangle, you know, because it's an action, working, work remotely, and I'm activating it with neurographic line. And again, I'm just showing you conceptually what you can do with figures here, with lines. Everyone has their own things that they're working on, right? So think about for yourself. Here you're putting all your dreams, everything that you want to get out of it. If your kids moving out of the house or your kid is moving out, just envision them be healthy, safe, having nice place to live, be more independent and so forth, right? What else you could think about? Um, Maybe renting out. Maybe you want to get a property that partially you can rent and pay your mortgage. Then you can add another square, right? Renting and get more stability by having additional income by renting. Okay. And again, I'll make up all of this just for you to understand how it works. Here's your dream plane, what you want to achieve by doing this. Those are your resources. You got a good agent. You put a lot of efforts in the house. You want to sell it well, right? And you want maybe nice people to move in your house. Let's say your whole childhood was spent in the house, or maybe you spend a lot of years there. You put a lot of efforts in this house. You don't want people like who wouldn't care about the house to move in or creating hostility in the neighborhood. You really don't want people like that. You want nice people to move in and really appreciate the house that you really took care of and have a best memories of. Okay, so those are ideas that you're putting in. Here in the present, you can also add a resource. Some people using spirals here, where they just draw a spiral and spiral go like this, like that, all the way. Basically, a spiral helps to move the energy up. You could add anything you want in the present. What is in the present? You contributing that will help you to get to your dream place. And it could be anything. Maybe you're in the middle of changing your job that will allow you to do remote work in the future. Okay. So you could add potentially anything that you'd like here. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's up to you. For me, most important, just to show you how we work with Neurotree, going from the past towards the future, and how we're using resources in order to grow them into our dreams. So now you need to start coloring. You just take, you know, I want to use brown because it's a classical Neurotree, and I want to start coloring it lightly. Just, you know, you could use my technique. I'm using Prismacolor here for smooth coloring. Just start coloring, right? And kind of like getting into a tree, classical tree image, okay? And you know how we do with Neurographica, you can press harder, get more like a 3D effect like I'm doing here, right? So you could do that. If you want to learn in depth Neurotree, you really need to attend the course. This is just very basic explanation and very basic way of drawing it, but it gives you an idea. It definitely does. So when you color, like think about what you think about color. And nobody said you have to use classical coloration. It doesn't have to be brown. Your tree could have totally uh, dreamlike colors like violet or super green or anything that you could think of. Okay, I'm just kind of like coloring a little bit. I'm going to be using it again, but at least for now. Now you could start coloring shapes. For that, I would take a green color. I'm going to start coloring. And this one is a metallic neon color that I'm using just for that. And let me see what else you could do. Yellow. Again, everything goes intuitively, okay? We are not really thinking too much about what we're going to be using, how we're going to be using it. Let me do some blue. Again, I'm showing you conceptually what you can do. You can make your tree as beautiful as you want, beauticize it, add some maybe some metallic colors, some neon colors. You can do whatever you want with that. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of this algorithm. I'm just showing you various colors here so you could see the difference between shapes. But you can even color them the same color. Really, it depends how you feel about it. Um, Now let's just color the top portion. Again, I'm using different colors so you could see the shapes. And I would really like to see your Neurotrees. For that, you would need to join my Amarna Neuroart community. It would give you an ability to share with me your drawings and get my feedback. If I don't see how you draw it, I would not be able to guide you through. So please ask to join my Amarna Neuroart community. A lot of people have joined and they're doing great. They really sharing fantastic work. Again, I'm going intuitively. I'm gonna add yellow here. I like yellow. Yellow always brightens up. Okay. Again, the more resources you're gonna add here, the more outcome you're gonna get at the top of the tree. So don't be shy about adding resources. They could be smaller shapes. Add them as many as possible. Okay. And same thing here. Think about what you want to get. If you're marrying, let's say, what do you want from this marriage? Specifically, if it's not your first marriage, right? How you want to play different this time around. So this gives you an ability to work with resources, work with your ideas, work with the tree itself, make sure your tree is stable, strong. I'm going to do a video on the mistakes that people make when they draw Neurotree. Okay, it's going to be a separate video on that. That will help you out to recognize your own mistakes and avoid them in the future. Okay. So now we never leave a tree like this. The tree has to belong to community of the trees. And by that, what we usually do, we connect our Neurotree to other Neurotrees through those life currents, neurographic lines, right? We add them right here. So our tree doesn't feel lonely. It feels like somewhere outside of this paper, some other Neurotrees exist and they form maybe a forest. And to be honest with you, the number of Neurotrees already drawn through this long period of time from 2014 when Neurographica was born, really huge, you know. And if you Google Neurotree, it was one word for Google, you will see a bunch of examples, beautiful trees. I mean, here it's just conceptual tree, but you could find beautiful artwork. And the bigger paper you're getting, the better your Neurotree is going to look like. Some people using huge format, like it could be wall length of the wall, right? Format. The bigger it is, the more exciting it is. And definitely I could feel like right now I'm drawing in a small format, but if I would draw in the normal format, the impact from the drawing would be higher. So don't be shy of using large format for Neurotree. This is just for practice. This is just for conceptual drawing, just to show you. And again, you could see what I'm doing, right? I am rounding again. All the crossings need to be rounded. You could do double lines. It's fine. Totally okay. Double lines look stronger. The current is stronger, right? That we see through the neurographic lines. And breathe. A lot of people stop breathing when they start drawing. I don't know why, but it's important for you to remember to breathe. Okay? You can color around if you want. As I said, you could do a spiral that goes all the way, like your energy goes and goes and goes, kind of like giving you this enormous energy rise, right? Or you could add some resources here. Some people even draw like a fruit-like tree, like apple tree, and then they draw a basket and they basically add more fruits here, like whatever you collect from this whole thing goes to the basket. There is no limit to that. but the basic concept is here. Whatever I've showed you, I hope you're going to enjoy that. I hope you're going to share with me your drawings, get my feedback, enjoy, and I'm going to see you again next week. Thank you. Bye now.